I said, Ashly, I think I want to own a racetrack? I'm wondering if Ashly would talk me out of it,
Yes.
or talk me into it.
Depends on what day it is.
It depends on where it is, right? If it's right down the road from yours, no, you don't want me to do that.
Yeah.
No,
I'm very grateful for everything. I feel like if I wasn't in the area that I'm in, I wouldn't have been as successful. I've taken a lot of things from my racetracks that I've learned in the Midwest, and I've put that into my go-kart track. Tri-City Speedway, they're one of my, I look up to them, and I take a lot from them and bring it over here. Eldora, I still go there to watch my brother, 2-3 times a year. So when you go to the big tracks, a lot of promoters aren't race fans. As far as like, I still go out when we're not racing. I'll block stuff off on my schedule. This is the Dream Weekend, or this is the World Weekend. And I go there and I sit in the grandstands. I don't go in the pits. I sit in the grandstands. I see what they're doing. And, oh, that's cool. Let's try that. Or that didn't work so good. Let's not try that. But I think our area is what really, and being Tuesday, Wednesday, like we had said, we race on Saturdays just because it gives people that maybe are far away and can't race on Tuesdays. And our Saturdays were not that big until recently. It's blown up, and it's just as big as a Tuesday, Wednesday.
What happened? Why did it blow up?
Hell, I don't know.
You don't know?
I really don't know. It's just people. I get more people from out of town because they just want to be there on track. They want to say that they race there, so they'll travel on the weekend. And a lot of the NASCAR people, maybe you'll keep somebody back to let their driver race, on a Saturday. And I make it 2 different series. So it's a Tuesday series, Saturday series. So
like you can run for points
you can
during
run for
Tuesday,
points.
Wednesday versus Saturday.
Separate.
Right. Yeah.
But I think my location is what really blew me up and to be a Tuesday, Wednesday, midweek. When we first started, all these big sprint car races and late model races that are midweek, there wasn't a lot of that when we first started. I mean, I could only think of a handful of places that would even try a Tuesday or a Wednesday event.
Yeah, we toy with that, just thinking through the Cars Tour is whether that works or doesn't work.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
And it all depends on location and who you got racing with you. We looked at it and said, look, we've got, and not only NASCAR people, we've got people that run, modifieds or any, to be able to let them come run, and that way Dad can go race on the weekends. So location really helped us, and in the group of people that I've had, Kelly's been by my side since the beginning, in the people that kind of push us to do more.
How important has Millbridge been to the racing careers of your kids? I mean, because I can't imagine, now that we're talking about it, I can't imagine how the trajectories kind of are different if you don't have this track close by.
It is different. And that's what I was thinking through as Ashly was speaking, is that, this is one, if not the only place that you can race in this area. There's another outlaw track down near the coast of North Carolina, but you have to travel. There's a lot of go-kart tracks, right? But not outlaw kart racing tracks. And she's hit a niche for this community, and a community of racers that really, if you want your kid to race and do something, that they can do it there. Yeah. And I think that's definitely what's helped you. And like you said, when Carson started racing, the outlaw karts were huge in California and West. And then Kyle, I guess, got into it. I don't even know how long the SKE business, Kyle Beatty, has been in business, but he does so many different things between legend cars and bandoleros and all kinds of stuff. And so, when it started, when Carson ran, there would be 6 or 8 kids out there, but they were still NASCAR kids. Carson's group of kids that she ran with were
Ford Martin,
Ford Martin, whose dad is Gil Martin from the Cup Series, Clark Houston, whose dad is Andy Houston, and so it was NASCAR kids then too. Macy Sears, her dad Mike Sears works in NASCAR, and so it was kind of the same community that wanted to do this, and it has just grown. It's so fascinating to see. I think that I have my own concerns about racing and asphalt racing and what's happening and what's going on. But then you go to Millbridge and you see and I'm not kidding, 30 5 and 6 year olds in the cadet series.
Yeah.
And 30 beginners box stocks that are kids who are, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 30 9 to 13 year olds. And then the junior wing, there were 17. Up. There's so many, 17 to 20 of them.
We started the junior wing
2 years ago. Yeah, this is the second year, I feel like.
Yeah. And it took so long. And then within maybe 2 or 3 months now, it's like we're almost at a B main. We're right at a full field of 16, 17. Yeah. It's like, whoa.
And then you've got the micro sprints, which have come into play. And that's what Wyatt races and the 600cc
20
micro
to
sprints.
30 of them weekly. Yeah. So.
And then, she has the beauty of, like she spoke of, the Chevrolet programs and the Toyota programs of bringing their drivers out there for that extra experience, between. And, I think that was kind of a Josh Wise thing, right? Yeah. Josh grew up in the dirt car world, and he does the program for Chevy. And so that's kind of where that's came from. But, there's a lot of opportunity out there and we've laughed about it. Wyatt raced against Kyle Busch, and we're doing sliders out there. Where can a 11-year-old now and Kyle Busch do that together, right?
Weekly.
And weekly, and have fun with it, and it's funny because Kyle's a outstanding racer, but he's not a great dirt racer, and so it's fun. They're coming out there to find a new skill, like she said, with reaction times and different things like that.
Millbridge is relatively small compared to like a micro sprint track, so you're and we're really banked, so you're all the way against the wall, hammer down, and the reaction time. There's 22 of you out on the racetrack at once. So, so you can think about the reaction time that they're learning to be out there. And that kind of blew up when NASCAR decided to go to dirt. We kind of blew up of people coming to test and learn.
What are the track specs? We should have done this at the beginning, actually. But how big is it?
We're at I think it's like it was between a 7th or 8th mile.
Okay.
Like, it was flat when we first got it, completely flat. And we were like, we're going to put banking in it. So now completely banked all the way around, and it's fast.
Yeah, it's fast. You're talking about those car counts. How do you keep a quick schedule or a run? Because Kelly mentioned that. Like, it sounds like a Bieber concert with all those kids. Like, what are you talking about?
It's not.
How do you keep the schedule
moving? You need to come
moving?
to the tower and sit one day.
I'm afraid to, frankly.
I won't yell at you.
Okay. I'll be your bodyguard.
Everybody knows my schedule. I hand out a schedule at the beginning of the night, and that schedule does not change. And when I say we're on track at 6:15, we are on track at 6. Like,
you better be lined up at 6:10.
Me and Jeremy were like, we'll be fighting if he's on the racetrack still packing the track, say at 6:15, 16. I'm out there doing this to him.
It's an equal opportunity ass ripping. You don't discriminate on anybody, even your husband.
Oh,
good.
Absolutely. And it is 6:15. I should have cars on the racetrack. They're right here. Let's go. And he'll know that means gotta go. And we start, and we stop for the national anthem. That's the only thing I stop for. And there is something on the racetrack every second from the time you get there, from 6:15, and we are done by 9:30, 10 o'clock.
But if you get one of those singers that take a long time to get to the anthem, you're going to rush them through that too, right?
Absolutely.
We just have Alan Jackson on record.
Alan Jackson.
Oh, is that what we do?
Yes.
Experience the thrill of the racetrack like you're in the driver's seat with DraftKings Sportsbook. Bet on your favorite racers and feel the rush of every pass, pit stop, and victory like never before. Right now, new customers can turn $5 into $200 instantly in bonus bets. Bet 5 on anything to score big, no matter what goes down on the track. The stakes are high as the round of 8 kicks off this week in Las Vegas for the Cup Series. A win here for the playoff driver locks you into the Final Four. With so much on the line, tune in to Dirty Modo as they handicap the field and recommend bets to watch. With props, parlays, and more, there'll be action to follow all race long. The racing action doesn't stop until the checkered flag drops. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and join with code DJD. New customers can bet $5 to get $200 instantly in bonus bets. That's code DJD only on DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours.
Well, okay, so that's how you keep. I mean, because the schedule. Listen, when we were at Lernersville, I don't want to put them on blast or anything. That we went to that high limits thing, but they were an hour and a half behind. And we were all kind of going, how did that happen? We were like,
it happens.
We don't know how it happens, but you're right, it happens.
Hey, it wasn't a month ago, and thank goodness we were not at this race over Labor Day weekend. They raced at 5 a.m.
Why?
And they started at like 6 o'clock.
Wow.
The division that Wyatt would have been in would have been racing at 1:30 a.m.
Yeah.
What happens? How does that happen? How does that happen?
You're asking the wrong person because I've never done it.
Doesn't happen.
I've never done it. Track prep. I mean,
maybe not having enough people. I don't know.
Literally, it's hard to explain. Like at Millbridge, I have, a lot of racetracks you go to. This guy will do this, this, and this. No, this guy works here. This guy works here, and that guy is only responsible for this. This guy's only responsible for this. So like, they know. The competitors know that when you're ready to race, if you're not there, you get left. I will leave them. I don't care if he's 5 or 30, you will get left. And they know that. So we call them up there. We roll on the racetrack, check the lineup. We're back green before we even come around. We don't make pace laps. The receiver has helped a lot, the one-way communication. Anytime there's a caution, while they're cleaning up the caution, Jeremy and I are going through the lineup, getting them lined up. So when the caution's cleaned up, we're back green.
Lineups take a long time at some racetracks.
I bet.
Yeah.
So the receiver she's speaking of, the kids or the competitors wear a one-way radio that only the tower can speak to them, so they can tell them whatever they want to, and get in line, get behind this car, whatever. Some tracks don't have that, and they literally stop them on the racetrack, and they're like, yeah. Can you imagine doing that with 5-year-olds? Like,
no.
It's hard enough to probably talk to them.
Yeah. And their parents would be worse.
Yeah.
So
get behind the orange car.
And I think my employees too, my staff that work in the infield are, amazing. We have a system, and it's just a system to where, like the cadets, we do stop them and line them up, but they know when there's a caution, the pace car goes out on the back straightaway and stops. The cadets stop behind the pace car. My guys line them up, and like I said, by the time we tow off a car or whatever needs to be done, we go right back green right when they get to turn 4.
But weather, there is that.
That happens.
It happens.
Yep.
So
we have a plan.
You have a weather plan.
Yep. Most of the time we can get it in. Jeremy's very smart. So he can tell me to the minute, like, I need 30 minutes, go tell them what's going on and tell them I need them in staging in 10 minutes. And people are looking at him going, there's no way. And I'm like, look, if he says be in staging in 10 minutes, we're going back on track. You better be ready. And sure enough, 9-10 minutes, we're on the racetrack.
Y'all do sound like an awesome team, frankly.
We have, well,
you really do.
There's a big group of our team. Even though some of them just come on race days. I mean, obviously we can't do. The girls at the gate, I never have a line at the gate. Concession stand, we never have a line at the concession. I mean, everybody just has their job, and they know how I run it and how I want it ran, and that's. I may be tough on them, absolutely, but they'll never make that mistake again.
Well, and
no doubt.
The other thing is that they're loyal. I mean, it's the same faces there, for the most part. Yeah. I mean, maybe there's a new track worker here and there, but it's the same faces at the gate. It's the same faces. Concessions. It's the same faces doing the lineup and getting you out on the racetrack. And
and don't people even
people want to complain about
they
being tough
but
and
at
fair,
the end of the day,
they love it.
At the end of the day, don't you want to just to be treated fair? And it's like
know what is expected of you.
Never be in a position of not knowing something. That's the worst thing.
The biggest part of it is I think the hardest part of my position is, and you'll know this, I'm a female in motorsports. Not only am I a female, but I'm a superior. So I've had a lot of people that quit because they're like, she's not telling me what to do.
They don't know what to do with you.
I'm your boss. So that's why. And a lot of the parents and stuff, they don't know my background. So they think they know more than me. Even though I've probably been to more racetracks or more races and more than they have. So it's really hard. And I'm very involved in racing. So I do all the lineups. I do all the calls. I do all of it. So I've gotten, 14 years of making calls, scoring, lineups. The people need to understand that I know what I'm talking about. I grew up in a racing family. My dad built engines. My brother raced. I've been around all these racetracks. I've seen what happens at racetracks. this isn't my first time at a racetrack. So it's hard to show them, to get that respect that, well, she's no different. I don't like throwing that female thing out there. I'm a promoter. I'm not a female promoter. I'm just a promoter like everyone else. So you're going to treat me like you would treat any other male promoter. Yeah. I'm just a promoter.
Yeah. It's the other people that throw the whatever on you, the female or whatever they want to do. So what's the absolute funnest thing that comes out of having Millbridge and throughout the year?
Kids night.
Kids night.
Yeah.
Tell us about it. What happens?
Kids night. That's my race. Jeremy has all the races. Kids night's my race. We have a kids night in July or August is kind of my back to school night. I make programs with all the kids' pictures in it. They do autograph sessions. I line every kid up and do a driver intros for every single kid. And that lining up.
That was long this year.
It was very long. And I even did 2 at a time. And Jeremy's like, how do we cut that down? I said, well, you're not getting rid of it. So don't even think about it. But it was funny because we were standing there lining the kids up and I'm lining them up and Jeremy was sending them out and he's yelling my name and we go at it bad. I mean, there's been times where we live on property. There's times where we would get in fights and one of us would go to the house.
Because you can. It's right there, right?
It's happened.
It has happened.
So he's yelling at me and I'm like, what? He said, I don't know who these kids are. You have to stand here so that you can send them out. I don't know whose kid is who. And I know I pretty much know just about every face, name, and car number.
Yep.
Because I sign every one of them in. I think that's the best thing.
Kids night, she has scooters. I mean, she has all kinds of giveaways.
Yeah, and it's fun for the kids. Like, they look forward to my race.
You want me to tell you what she does for the moms?
Let's hear it.
The Easter.
Oh, the Easter.
No, we do that at Easter. So at Easter, she does like candy drops for the kids and all that kind of stuff and the eggs, but she does it for the moms too. And you know what she drops? Miniature bottles.
Brilliant.
Get them drunk before we start racing.
It's actually hilarious because the moms line up, she gives us all a go. It's hilarious. Man. It's fun.
Yeah.
But everybody has a good time.
I try to incorporate, I want everybody to have fun. But I always say that as long, somebody would say that they don't like me. And I said, well, your kid like me? Yeah. So all I care
You're the only
about.
one they're trying to, they're the only
as
ones.
As long as your kid likes me, I don't care. But it is a hard job, but it's a job. It's no different than being a manager at a store or being a
everywhere
coach.
You go, people are involved, right?
Yeah,
people are the toughest thing to deal with sometimes, and the best thing for your business at the same time.
But I mean, as long as them kids are enjoying it and they have. I mean, Carson still comes out, and I mean, she's got a lifetime of memories at that racetrack, and that's all I care about.
So what's next for Millbridge? Like, what do you guys? How long can we count on this? I mean, listen, there's a lot of people listening to this right now that are like, all right, I'm definitely going. Right, if they haven't been there already. But do you guys see, how long do you see yourself doing this even?
I don't know. I didn't expect it to last this long.
You didn't expect it to last this long?
I mean, I hope for as long as I can just keep going. I think it all depends on what happens with the county situation because I can only do so many. I mean, our weekly events are fine. I don't have to do any big events, but I really like doing national events. I like seeing big guys come from all over the United States and meet there. We have fun. We always do a concert, and World Finals Week, we have a race that leads up into it. I think this year it's Monday, Tuesday, because then the World Final starts on Wednesday, and we have a big party on Monday, and I feed everybody and alcohol and concerts and all free, and it's just fun to bring everybody together and celebrate what we did all year long.
There is something else I forgot I wanted to ask you, okay?
Okay.
There's local racetracks all over the country, right? The small racetracks, they can do a number of different divisions, late models, street stocks, whatever it is. What is the number one problem that they have to overcome to be able to survive? Like, what is it that the local racetracks have to be able to do to thrive and succeed and to be able to have, not become one of these other tracks that shut lost speedways, right?
It all comes down to schedule, like time and like time management. I mean, there's been racetracks like around in this area that I will not go to because I know it's 3 a.m. by the time I get in my car, and they have 4 divisions with 50 cars. And track prep, obviously, with dirt is so much harder than asphalt. People think that, we'll just buy a dirt track, open up the gates, and there's a lot that goes into it. It's got to be smooth. You got to put water in it. If it's dusty, people aren't going to want to come. If it's rough, they'll tear their equipment up and they don't want to come. But time management is the big thing, in the fighting. Obviously I've been around a lot of racetracks that, and they know I do not put up with that. I don't think I've had any problems at all. That's
I might know your last problem.
Yeah. Probably not my last one.
Wait a
but
second. Wait. Does he have initials in his name?
Yes.
Yeah, I bet you're not.
Has been sat out a race before.
Yes, he did.
You had to ban him.
A couple years
I'm sure
ago.
he had it coming.
Guess what? I've never heard a peep out of him after that.
I love it.
Maybe that's what you need to do, Kelly. Just sit him out.
Maybe so, right? Go to the doghouse. No.
I love that.
Time management is the big thing, because it's like when a lot of people maybe like that, but if I come to a racetrack, I want to be, we don't want to see a tractor or a water truck making laps. You want to see race cars. That's what you paid to go. So our big thing is you better make sure that track's ready to go, because as soon as we roll, you don't see anything, but other than scraping walls and maybe packing the track for 5 minutes. That's all you get. These racetracks that want to go out and till it up and, put water on it and do this and do that. It's like, people don't want to sit there for an hour and wait, to go racing. They pay to watch race cars.
It's customer satisfaction. Well, customer satisfaction 101, right?
Yeah.
Like, in the schedule is the biggest thing that you think that really kind of can hamper that experience.
What the big thing is too, we joke about, my dad always yells at me if I have a break, he'll be like, I want to sell more hot dogs in the concession stand, which is true. You do sell more, and that's a big thing, but I would rather just people leave happy and get out and come back than sell a $3 hot dog.
Well, ultimately they don't come for the hot dog.
Exactly.
So
I just
it's nice.
want them in
It's
and
nice
out.
to have.
it is nice to have.
So that's time management is a big thing.
Yeah.
You don't.
Yeah, and in this day and age, there's so many things for people to do, and attention spans are shorter.
Yeah.
And I think that you have to run a good, succinct show.
I mean, we open the gates at 4:30, 5 o'clock, depending on the day, and by 10:15, you're loading up your trailer.
Yeah.
To go home.
Going back to something you said, how do you prevent fights, and how do you prevent your husband from being in them? How do y'all both prevent fights?
Well, I think I'm the reason why we don't fight anymore.
Because what?
Because
What
I
you
would
do?
just get in the middle of it, and you don't come back.
You
They
don't
know
come back.
you do not come back. If you throw a punch, you would not come back. And
Forever?
Forever. And I've stuck by that.
Oh, so there's some lifetime bans?
And I
Yes.
think when you're talking fighting, you're talking whether it's words or physical fights, right? There's
Words
not,
are
I've
words.
not seen a ton of physical fights at Millbridge.
No,
but
I've
seen a lot
couple,
of
but
word fighting.
yeah.
It seems like it comes with racing,
And
right?
it
Yeah,
does come with
that.
racing, and it comes. I mean, you talk about it yourself being a soccer parent. I mean, parents get passionate about their kid. They want to protect their kid. They want to protect them from other people. Or you see, a lot of times what I think you see another parent saying something to your kid or about your kid on the racetrack, and then you as a parent are like going to go take care of that parent.
Yeah.
And then you get in the middle of it, and then you make it bigger than it is, and she doesn't. It's a zero tolerance. And I think before, if you engaged in it, it makes it worse, right?
Yeah.
And so now it's like, just no.
Yeah. For a while, I was hiring a police officer to stand right at the scales. So as soon as they exit, there was nothing. Like, because by the time you get back to your
Even
trailer,
started
you're over
words.
it, right? So it's just the heat of the moment exiting the racetrack. Once you get back to your trailer, most of the time, you're over it.
Yeah.
So that helped for a while, and then it was like we weren't having anything. We're just all a family, and I tell them that. Like, I'll have drivers meetings where I'll send the kids on and keep the parents, and I'll be like, look, guys, I did not build this racetrack around this, and knock it off, or you'll just stay home. And
I think it's. I think it's been cured for a while.
To be fair to LW, he didn't get in a fight to get that.
He did not
one
get in a
week
fight.
ban,
He got in a word fight.
A word fight, right? With the wrong person. And she's here.
Yes.
Got it.
Yes. in the tower, which it happens.
Yeah,
I mean, that's what it is. I mean, it's part of my job. So, you know, and a lot of people, it's funny, they'll be like, oh, well, now she's going to take it out on I don't care. You know, I'm over it the next day. And then people will send me texts, I'm so sorry. And I don't even respond back because once it happens, it's over. I'm over it. You know, you're not the only one. You're not the only one texting me. I'm over it. Like, just let it be. Move on to the next.